In 2 years, my watercolor paintings have changed from this to this. Wow! Do you want to know how I did it? In today's video, I will show you 6 tips that helped me improve my watercolor painting skills so fast. So you can try too. Have you ever thought that watercolor is so hard to control, or even felt frustrated when your artwork doesn't look as good as what's on social media? I feel you. I've been there. I felt the same way, and I even thought that watercolor is not for me. Look at this painting. This is my very first watercolor portrait painting. And you can see that, okay, it looks like a human face, right? But the shape is actually not very accurate. The colors are too vibrant. It doesn't provoke the feeling. I cannot feel the soul of the character. On the other hand, this painting is my recent painting. And you can see the softness and the focal point. The color is more harmonized. It seems like I can feel the soul of the character. So how did I do that? Here are 6 things I've done that helped me improve my art skills. The first one is to get to know your art supplies. This includes watercolor paint, watercolor brushes, what kind of brushes you want to use or you should have, watercolor paper, which paper you should use. This has helped me understand how my paint works, the advantages and disadvantages of different kinds of watercolor paper. You can't paint well if you don't know your tools. For example, watercolor paint is transparent and fluid, so it shouldn't be treated as same as oil or acrylic. Instead, let it run on the surface of the paper. Embrace its randomness. The information is available on the internet, from blogs to YouTube videos. Take some time every day to learn more about your art supplies. You will be more confident in using them. I also shared about this topic in my blogs that I will put the link in the upper right corner of the video so you can check it out. The second tip is practice watercolor painting techniques. There are so many watercolor painting techniques, for example, wet on wet, wet on dry, negative painting, and scratch off, lifting, you name it. Different watercolor painting techniques will give different effects. For example, the wet on wet technique will give you a blurred effect. So this is perfect to paint background, right? You want to make your background blurry, so people will focus more on the main subject. For the details that need hard edges, I will use wet on dry technique instead of wet on wet. I will also add the link to my video about 20 watercolor painting techniques so you can check them out and practice along with me. When painting a portrait was too hard for me as a beginner 2 years ago, I changed to painting simple stuff like flowers and birds. This has helped me get used to different watercolor painting techniques and learn how to combine them together to create a beautiful painting. The third tip is to learn about color and color mixing. I realized that I was not good at color, especially combining different colors in my painting. So I decided to learn more about it by reading different articles on the internet and watch YouTube videos from experienced artists to know how they mix different colors together. I also read books about colors and light because light and colors relate to each other. In different light conditions, the colors will appear differently. I also created different color mixing charts. For example, this one is about to understand color theory, watercolor reels, and the grid color mixing chart. This practice has helped me understand more about the colors, the paint that I have, and how to mix different colors using primary colors. If you haven't heard of color bias or complementary colors, I highly recommend you read more about this. this will help you a lot in mixing colors for your painting. Now I mainly use primary colors to mix all of the colors for my painting. Tips number 4, learn from experienced artists. I watch so many YouTube videos from more experienced artists whom I admire. I've learned a lot from them, from the way to control soft edges and hard edges, how they mix different colors, and how they use light or they create light in their painting. YouTube is a great platform to learn, and I really appreciate artists who have shared their experience and their knowledge for free on their channels. Blogs are also good sources to learn from experienced artists. If you can afford it, learn courses from them or join their painting workshops. This can boost your painting skills much faster because they have spent years practicing and gaining their expertise. The tip number 5, practice painting regularly. One thing I know for sure is that no one can become a master of anything after one night. In the last 2 years, I spent a lot of time practicing painting, from simple stuff like a flower, a leaf, to more complicated subject like a portrait of a human face. If you can't do it as full-time as I do, please practice just about 2 to 3 times per week at least. Just start something simple that will take you probably 10 to 30 minutes to finish. Don't expect that you will create a masterpiece every time you hold your brushes. And you don't need to share every time on social media. Keep it for yourself and feel free to make mistakes. You actually learn a lot from making mistakes. When painting becomes a habit, you can challenge yourself by painting more complicated subjects like a human face or a dog or a cat. Regular practice is the key. Tips number 6, create a feedback loop. Practice only isn't enough. We learn a lot more from the feedback after we practice. Make mistakes, ask for feedback, and then you can improve next time. The more feedback you get, the more you can learn. However, be selective in choosing whom you should listen to. When I share my paintings in Facebook groups, and I receive a lot of feedback, supportive feedback from different people. And what I usually do is I always check the profiles of the commenters because I want to see if their paintings look as good as their advice might sound. I also build up my self-criticism by reading more stuff about what makes a good painting. I learned that there are 4 pillars of a realistic painting that I should master. The first one is shape and composition. The second one is colors. The third one is values relating to light and shadows. And the fourth one is edges. I wrote this in my blog and I will add the link to the upper right corner of this video so you can also check it out. So I already shared with you my 6 secrets to improve my art skills fast. And this is the bonus one for one who want to learn and paint faces. By the way, I just changed my camera position, so I want to show you my rose. It's a beautiful one, right? Portrait painting is probably the most difficult one because you want to create something that looks first real, accurate, and also even better, you can bring the soul of the character to real life. My tip for this is to learn about portrait anatomy. This relates to how the bones are structured and where the flesh and the muscles are located. It might sound boring to learn, but I'm sure with you that if you take some time to learn about this and practice on it, then you will create something that looks more mature and people will admire you. There's no shortcut for this. You need to take a little bit of time every day to read more and practice more on drawing a portrait to master it. Even I painted portraits in just 2 years ago in watercolor, but I actually spent 20 years drawing portraits with pencils and erasers. So take your time. It took me 2 years to find my way in watercolor painting. It might take you more or less, and it's okay. Every painter has their own journey, as long as you enjoy painting. To help you learn faster, I have already shared what I have learned in my blog and also my YouTube channel. I will add the link to useful resources in the video's description so you can check them out. Thanks a lot for watching my video until now. I hope my genuine tips can help you improve your watercolor painting skills fast. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions, what you're struggling with in watercolor painting, and if you have any requests on what I should share in the next video. If you find this video helpful, don't hesitate to hit the like button, share it to more people, and subscribe to my channels if you haven't. Thanks again, and I hope to see you in the next video. And now I just want to share with you my garden view. I love that one. Alright, see you next time. Bye.